Happy Barbenheimer week, everybody! Yes, as you are undoubtedly aware, this week both the Barbie movie and Oppenheimer are hitting theaters on the same day. And much like when Doom Eternal and Animal Crossing released on the same day, the internet is freaking out just a little bit. And so, in honor of these two films, I'm going to play two Barbie video games for the PlayStation 1. Barbie Race and Ride and Barbie Super Sports. But are these both just garbage games, or are they worth your time today? Well, let's take a moment to find out. Now, both of these games were developed by Runecraft, a company who mostly did licensed games and were eventually mismanaged to the point where the BBC bought them, mismanaged them further, and then shut them down. The story for these games sees Barbie waking up in a strange and hostile land, and over time she has to defeat the monstrous inhabitants and gain power for herself, but will she use that power to free this land of evil, or further enslave it? Wait. No, my bad. That's the story to Elden Ring. These games have no story. One of them, Barbie rollerblades and snowboards, and in the other one, she rides a horse. The aesthetics of the game are pretty meh. They weren't the worst thing ever, but they certainly weren't impressive even at the time. Honestly, it looks to me a lot like what I would expect a Flash game a few years later to look like. But how do the games play? Are they actually pretty good to play? No. Barbie Super Sports isn't bad. In the inline skate mode, you just kind of go around and you collect items, and then for each level you do that again, and then you unlock a secret level, which is actually kind of fun. You're in a little theme park area, and there's little activities you do. It's nothing special, but it was at least a little charming. The snowboard levels are essentially the exact same thing. You collect items again, eventually you unlock a bonus level. I will say though, the level where you get to smash the snowmen was okay. I don't know whether this was actually fun, or at that point my brain was just so numb that anything that was remotely different was entertaining to me. So yeah, there's that. All in all, the game is pretty inoffensive, if a little dull. Barbie Race and Ride though, ooh, this game is bad. This game is essentially bobbing horsehead simulator with the occasional minigame thrown in for good measure. You have 4 trails, your horsehead bobs around in the trails. Periodically Barbie will say, "Oh, look at that thing," and then you hit the square button to interact with said thing. Most levels will have a race or an obstacle course and some kind of puzzle thing to do. There's also a lot of completely meaningless interaction with the wildlife that does absolutely nothing. That being said, what kills this game for me is how ridiculously slow it is. Every single interaction has a loading screen. And then once you're on the screen, you have to wait for Barbie to say whatever ridiculous thing she's going to say that's super obvious to anyone with half a brain. And then from there, you might have to wait further until the game allows you to interact with the rabbit or whatever it is that you're interacting with. And then some of them have a further loading screen after that. It just drags on. I'm not gonna lie, this game was a serious test of my patience. And what's even more galling about it is that even after all of that time wasted waiting and loading, the game was still only barely over an hour in runtime. Yes, if you got rid of all of the loading screens and sped everything up, the game would probably be a half hour, maybe 40 minutes max. Barbie Super Sports was also pretty short, but at least it felt a little more snappy. And I will give that game credit, it does allow you to dress Barbie up as Magneto. So there's that going for it. But all that having been said, are either of these games worth your time today? No. Frankly speaking, if you are old enough to be watching a video on YouTube unattended, you are too old for these games. They were not made for you. You were not the target audience. Now, if you possess a 4-year-old who is obsessed with Barbie, then yeah, you could plunk them down in front of these games and it'll entertain them, or at least keep them occupied for a little while. But for anybody else, no, there is nothing here for you. Move on, play literally anything else. The best I can say is no matter how bad the movie may be, it will undoubtedly be more enjoyable than these games. Thank you very much for watching this video. I hope you enjoyed it. If you are all interested in seeing more reviews of retro 3D games like this, then please subscribe. Especially as a new channel, it helps us out a lot. But in any case, thanks again and have a good one.